Now continue with Ambassador Alan Keyes seeking the Republican nomination for president. Ambassador Keyes, when you ran against Barack Obama for senator in Illinois, you famously said that Jesus Christ would not vote for Obama because of his stance on abortion. Other than you, is there any candidate Jesus Christ would vote for among the Republican hopefuls?
Well, first I have to address that, though, because that's not exactly what I said, Alan. I actually wasn't talking about abortion. Yes, we have differences on abortion that are deep and profound. I think they're terribly important. But Barack Obama defended infanticide, the killing of fully born infants who had survived a failed abortion attempt and were then left for hours in soiled linen baskets to die. Jill Stanek and others blew the whistle on this. There was a bipartisan majority, just as there was in the Senate of the United States, to stop it. And you know something? When the Born Alive Infant Protection Act was passed by unanimous consent out of the Senate, Hillary Clinton was part of that Senate. Barack Obama defended infanticide, refused to let that bill out of his little subcommittee in the Illinois legislature. As I understand it, it didn't get out until he left. That's deep-dyed, cold-blooded, ruthless ideology applied to such a degree that it bespeaks a hardness of heart for the sake of the defense of the so-called right to abortion that even his pro-abortion counterparts nationally can't understand. And when you're standing on a rung below Hillary Clinton in terms of your moral sensitivity, I have problems.
Well, that's your opinion, sir. But what you actually said, your exact words were that Christ would not vote for Barack Obama because Barack Obama has voted to behave in a way that is inconceivable for Christ to have behaved. Are there other candidates on your side of the fence, on the Republican side, who you put in that category?
Well, let me put it this way. I can't conceive of Christ voting for somebody who's going to disregard the claims of innocent human life. I can't see him supporting, for instance, some terrorist who flew into the 9/11 building and claimed innocent lives for the sake of his ruthless agenda, because the basic principle that you don't have the right, for the sake of your own convenience, agenda, whatever it might be, to take innocent human lives is what's at stake in the war on terror, which is why I don't see how we can believe that people who are deeply committed to abortion, who will violate that principle where the child in the womb, our posterity in the womb is concerned, are then going to be able to lead us consistently in a battle over that very moral principle of respect for innocent life. So I think that there's a problem there, yes.
Hey, Ambassador, let me ask you this. You got into this race late. You not showing up in the polls. Do you really believe you have a chance to win? And or is that an issue for you, or do you just want to advance the agenda?
John, first of all, no matter, I don't believe in the phony oracles. You call them polls. In the pagan societies, they were called oracles, who pretend to tell you the truth about the future, and who knows, you know, and it can be manipulated 3 ways from Sunday. Somebody told me today, though, I don't pay much attention to them, that in the last USA Today Gallup poll, I'm actually tied with Ron Paul. So if I got in late, I seem to be moving at least as fast as somebody who got in much earlier, been raising money, making a big fuss.
Ron Paul's at the bottom of the heap.
But you just said, hold it. You just said that I didn't show up in the polls. That's not quite true.
Right, I said you got in late. You're very low in.
I didn't get in late. A week after Fred Thompson, I made my formal declaration, and that's late.
But Ambassador,
so Fred Thompson got in early.
I called you personally. Wait a minute. I called you personally, and I asked you to come on television and on radio.
That's right.
And you told me, I'm not doing any media for however period of time. As far as I know, this is your first television interview. But my point is, you have...
let me explain that, though, Sean, because I did a lot of radio and other things, but I don't like moving along on the basis of illusion. We're building a true, bottom-up, grassroots effort, and I wasn't going to come out and represent that effort until we had laid solid groundwork all around the country for people to get involved in this effort at the grassroots level. And that's why I didn't want to start coming on TV and talking about it until we'd done our homework.
My question to you, though, is different. Do you really believe that you can win this nomination?
Absolutely. I think I represent the heart of the overwhelming majority of Republicans. When they find out who I am, what I stand for, which they can do completely by going to AlanKeyes.com. We have speeches, everything, running back all the way to 1989. I can do what Mitt Romney can't. I can put my speeches from 10 years ago next to my speeches today and not have to cringe with shame.
But people, you know something, Ambassador, in fairness to Governor Romney, and I've spent a lot of time around him, I believe his change in position is sincere. Sometimes I think...
You go ahead, Sean.
Sometimes
the circumstances,
I am pro-life,
suggest...
Ambassador, hang on. I have been pro-life my entire public career. But you know what? He explained it to me in detail, and I believe him. And he also, when he became governor, took very different positions from the position that he had taken when he was running as a candidate. Now, here's my position. You have been very critical of all of your opponents, and you are defining yourself as the sole conservative in this race. My question to you, if you don't win the race, will you support the nominee for the Republicans?
Well, first of all, the premise of the question is one that I think is premature. We have to wait until the people speak and that they have heard from people. I've been treated in such a way they don't want me to be heard from because they know that the heart of the grassroots Republican Party beats with the pro-life, moral conservative, strong on border sovereignty, strong on the issue of getting rid of the income tax and putting in the fair tax, strong in the war against terror because of the issue of moral principle that's involved, which is the same as the issue that's involved in abortion. People know and understand the coherence and consistency that I represent and have represented for many years.
We're just out of time, but could you got a yes or no, if possible, might you run as an independent?
Well, I think if there's no good choice before the American people, a lot of us are going to get together to make sure they have a good, godly, moral choice. We'll see what it is.
All right. Thank you, Ambassador Keys.